Today, I'm joined by my next expert guest, Steve, who is a home loan advisor, and he's going to talk to us about how to get a home loan and what that process is, from choosing a lender, what questions to ask, and some insider tricks of the trade. So welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you for being here. You're going to be very helpful. So I guess the natural next question is, what is a home loan advisor?
A home loan advisor is someone that holds your hand and guides you through the journey of purchasing your first home. We're here for you for the moment that you have a conversation with us, all the way through to the purchase of your property and settlement, and even post-settlement. So we do hold an ongoing relationship with you throughout your full home loan journey.
I have you here now, holding my hand through. The first big question is, how does someone choose a lender that's right for them? Do you go with the bank that you have, or do you look around? And I feel like there's a lot of things that you have to think about.
Yeah, you should certainly do your due diligence. And in terms of picking a lender, it's about finding someone that aligns with your values, is going to provide you with really good support throughout the process, as well as, a really competitive interest rate.
Interest rates, that's a thing
Yeah.
that I now have to think about in
Yes.
my life. It just was a myth from a distance, but now it's very much real. What I know about interest rates is that they change. Could you talk about that? And I know that there's fixed rates and variable rates,
Yes.
but I don't really know what they mean.
I'll start with the fixed rate. So the fixed rate for you as a first home buyer provides you comfort from a 1 to 5 year period in knowing exactly what your repayments are going to be.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. And then a variable rate?
Variable rate will fluctuate based on what the market does. So your variable rate could move up and down over a 5 year period.
I think that a lot of people, starting out and buying their new home, the market sounds really daunting because
Yes,
it's kind of this
yeah.
other thing. How would you go about even trying to understand how it works? Or is that something that you would help them with?
Of course, we'd have a look at what might work best for you throughout, your first home buying journey.
Yeah.
And the good thing is that you don't have to choose. So as a first home buyer, you've got the benefit to have a fixed portion on your loan and a variable portion of your loan.
Oh, okay, brilliant. I was sitting here going,
Yeah.
I was making the same kind of decisions I don't know how to make at lunch when I'm like, I love the burger, but I also want the pasta.
Have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. Okay, so then how does that work?
So the fixed portion will allow you to have confidence in knowing exactly what your repayments are going to be.
Sure.
And the variable portion will allow some additional beneficial features. So that variable portion will allow you to have, a redraw facility attached to it.
Right.
Or you may have heard of an offset account.
Yeah, I have. I think I've heard my parents talk about it, and I've kind of just ignored it because I thought, that doesn't matter to my life.
Yeah.
And now it seems it does.
Yes.
Could you tell me a bit about that? And you also mentioned redraw facility.
Yeah, so I'll start with the redraw. Now that redraw facility, if you do make additional repayments in your variable loan, you've got the option to redraw those funds out. So say if you go on a holiday,
Oh, yeah.
anything additional that you've paid in advance on your home loan, you can redraw those out and spend them freely.
Oh, okay. That's brilliant.
So you've got like an everyday account, right, with a debit
Yeah,
card?
yeah.
So we can make that an offset account, and any balance that's sitting in the offset will offset any interest associated on the variable loan. And I'll give you a bit of an example of that.
Sure.
If you've got a $100,000 loan balance and $50,000 sitting in your offset account, you only pay interest on the balance of the loan minus whatever's in your offset account. So effectively paying interest on $50,000 rather than the full $100,000 loan balance.
Right, okay. That makes a lot of sense. You kind of have, a variable option, a fixed rate option, and then you can have the best of both worlds.
Exactly right.
All right, that makes something that was really daunting very easy to understand now. So with the repayments, how frequently does that come out? Because I have kind of heard that it's a bit different for other people. Is that something you can customize?
A good lender will try to cater the repayments to generally your pay cycle. So if you get paid fortnightly,
Sure.
Then we'll try to marry it up to when you do get paid. But you do have generally the option of weekly, fortnightly or monthly repayments.
Oh, okay, cool. Great. Pre-approval is a process that I think some of my friends who have, bought their homes for the first time have kind of talked about with me. And it seems a bit like it's a bit of a process, a bit of an anxiety sometimes for them. Could you talk to me a little about what that looks like? Because I don't really think I have a good grasp of what it is.
So the pre-approval process is effectively the nitty-gritty in the application process. That's where we go and have a look at, your income, your current expenses, and any other loans that you might have, amongst other things.
Yeah.
And a pre-approval will allow you to assess your borrowing capacity and give you the confidence to go out and put an offer on a property or even bid at auction.
Right, so it's just about kind of getting that information and then bringing it to someone like you.
That's right.
So it can kind of be assessed. Sure, all right. And I guess it's just something that it gives you a bit of peace of mind when you're going out and you find the offer, and it'd be really good to have that.
That's
already.
right, so it is recommended.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. I think I have a really good scope on this now. There's just one last question, and this is just a little fun one that I've been asking everyone. And it's to do with, when you move into your first home, you have a lot of stuff to buy. And I guess, what is your must-have item?
The must-have?
The must-have.
It's the PlayStation 5.
The PlayStation 5. So you can have no furniture, no fridge.
I'd need a beanbag and a PlayStation 5 and I would be happy.
But what if the beanbag wasn't there?
The floor.
The floor is fine, as long as the PlayStation 5's there. Right, I understand. I get, yep, checks out. Yep, that makes sense. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, it's been a pleasure. I think you've really helped and you've really clarified a lot of stuff for me. So it's been really great.
Thank you.
Yeah. And everyone, thanks for listening. For more info about this podcast and for more home buying resources, head to peopleschoice.com.au/first home buyer.